BTC is red, but it's nothing new. Everyone was talking about how September is either going to be flat or it's going to be red. So we went up, we were up pretty high, right? Just like 5 days ago, we were up at, 117, and everyone started getting excited. But to me, I was still relatively calm, and I expected for BTC to drop. That's why in my previous videos, I've talked about what we should keep an eye on, on Ethereum, on Solana, and stuff like that. And, I guess my predictions were a little bit lower than what's expected. I mean, BTC can still drop, right? It could still go down to maybe 107, 105, and then bounce back up again. But we're still a far cry from that happening. And for all those that are crying how September is going to be bad and all that stuff, it's actually not that bad. If you look at a month ago, right? Let's take a look at October 31st and September 1st and see where BTC was at. So if you notice, BTC was at 107 on September 1st, right? And people are going to say, oh, we're going to have like a horrible September, so it can get even worse. But if you look at BTC, I said that, yeah, it can go as low as maybe 101 to 105, but obviously it didn't dip to 105, right? And if anything, in September, it's actually gone up from 107 to 112. So it's still up 5,000. So for all those that are, crying right now and saying how horrible September is, well, August was worse, right? So yeah, I'm just going to say everything is fine. It's just following through. So if I were all of you guys, not financial advice, of course, and if you believe that, August and September are going to be negative, and then everyone's going to say that October and November is going to be like positively green, then I would say this week is a pretty big week. This week and maybe next week will be a pretty big week in just accumulation, right? So BTC is 112. So maybe you should start looking at BITX, right, and have a play in that. So if everyone believes that October and November is where BTC is going to reach its high, then it has to exceed 125, right? Because it went up to about 123 in the past. So from 112 to 125, that should be an increase of maybe 10% for BTC. And if BTC increases by 10%, then BITX should increase by 20%. And if you look at, let's say, Ethereum now is down at 4,100. Okay, look at how high it was. It was from 48. So let's say if it can go back up to 48 again, then let's just take a look at ETH for a second. Okay, so I take a look at ETH, and let's say a month ago. So basically, ETH was at Actually, I think ETH was higher. It actually reached to 180 something at one point, right? So yeah, it's not 160. It was actually, I remembered it hitting in the 180s. So if we look back at August 13th, right? It was 185. So imagine if ETH gets back to 185, then we would have gained, or you could have gained $55 a share, right? So let's say you put you buy 100 shares, then now you can get $5,500 in profit, right? I'm just saying if it goes back to the 185, in which I believe that if BTC can pass its all-time high, which is about 123K, then Ethereum should also be able to exceed 5,000, right? So, and if Ethereum exceeds 5,000, then ETH should be around 200. So from where it is now to 200, that can be like $70 profit per share that you buy of ETH. Um, so once again, it's not financial advice, but it's just like you can make trimming profits through this process. And I honestly don't think that ETH will go much lower than 129. I would say that it can probably go down to maybe 115, 120. Um, I don't even think it would go down to 120, to be honest with you, right? So I would say accumulation at this price is really good. So yeah, if you want to take advantage of Ethereum by buying into ETH or either BITX, right? But I think ETH might have a higher growth potential at this point than BITX. So yeah, it's really up to you all to decide. But I just want to make a short video and saying everything's fine and it's just going towards the narrative. And I would say 80% of people that are investing into crypto believe that the bull run is still going to happen. We're still in the bull run phase. Alt season is still on, right? Because Bitcoin dominance right now is about 58, 59%. So once it goes under 55, then we should get really excited for alt season. So until then, just make profit off of BTC and Ethereum or even Solana. And yeah, so if you make those profits, now you can put more money into altcoins or grayscale, such as LTCN and BCHG. All right, have a good night. And I just want to make a little video for all of you to be entertained. Okay.